back to another video. Hope you're doing well. I just want to quickly touch on the concept of faking it until you make it. Now, I want to specifically focus on confidence because I feel like that's something that a lot of people struggle with, myself included. There was a time when I was the most quietest person ever. I'll tell you a story actually. When I was little, I never talked. I was just always quiet, always in my own world. When my parents would make me, speak to people, I would always just freak out, right? I couldn't even talk to the barista or order food at a restaurant. And there was a time when my parents thought that, I wasn't gonna speak for my whole life because I was just a quiet kid, right? And then the older that I got, the more I started coming out of my shell. And I remember my grandma told my dad that when I would grow up, I would just become, a yapper. I wouldn't stop talking. And I mean, little did he know, she was right. So the way that I kind of got out of my shell and kind of started building up more confidence is just faking my confidence, right? I acted like I was the most confident man in the world. When deep down, I was, the most terrified man in the world. Now, what you need to understand is confidence is silent, cockiness is loud, insecurity is one of the loudest things ever, right? The loudest person in a room is often the most insecure. They're the one that's going through something, you know, really, really bad. So they're trying to compensate by being the loudest person, either by, telling the funniest jokes. They're not really that funny. Or just, picking fun at people or just trying to be the center of attention. That's not confidence. That's just, well, first of all, that's poor class. And second of all, that's insecurity at its finest. But when I say confidence is, quiet, I mean, you gotta let things speak for you in a way, right? Like me, for example, the way that I dress, that kind of speaks for me. I wear suits frequently, around 5, 6 times a week. And so, I get a lot of compliments on my suits, on the way that they're tailored, the way that I, match them up. Like this pocket square has a little brown in it. I'm wearing a tan suit with a brown knit wool tie. So this kind of goes with this, but the blue in here kind of goes with my shirt. You know what I mean? Just small things like that. People pick up on that. But you also want to not just receive compliments, you want to give compliments. That also helps build your confidence because you're kind of speaking to new people, right? So let's say you're walking down the street, you see a guy, he's wearing, a nice jacket or a nice suit, for example. Be like, you look really sharp, man. I really like your suit, just something small like that. Now, when you do this a lot of times, you're kind of doing it in like repetition form, almost like at the gym. You do an exercise, you do bench press, 4 by 12, something like that. This is kind of around that same ballpark. The more repetitions you do, the more natural you become at it. The more confident you are speaking to strangers, speaking to new people. So you need to remember that, at the end of the day, we're all human, right? Nobody is 100%. We all have our pitfalls, we all have our insecurities. There's no one in this earth that has zero insecurities. That's a fact, right? Especially in the day that we live in now, social media is everywhere. We're constantly comparing ourselves. Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison will literally kill you. So you've got to understand that just because you're feeling a little insecure, you're feeling a little shy around somebody new, don't think that they're not feeling the same way. They're probably having a million thoughts through your head. No one cares the same way that you do, if that makes sense. So no one is really reading into you as much as you're reading into yourself. And I mean, I feel like this is a self-reminder first and a reminder to all, but just act accordingly, man. I always say that. And what that means is basically, read the room, time and place for everything. Kind of know when to speak, listen, don't cut people off, walk with your head held up high, posture on peak. I mean, I'm kind of slouched right now, but you get the point. Dress your best always, right? Always put your best foot forward, man, and everything else will follow, right? These small little things kind of build up your confidence, and then over time, you're just gonna become a confident guy. You're gonna walk into a room with like 150 people, and you're just gonna own that room, not in a douchey manner, in a classy manner, of course. But still, you're not gonna get that feeling where your heart just starts racing really fast. Thoughts after thoughts. Your knees kind of lock and your legs start shaking. No, you're just gonna walk in there smooth, own it. It is what it is. Walk out, boom, like nothing ever happened. So step out of your comfort zone. Today, try to give at least 3 people compliments. Try to speak to 3 new people that you've never spoken to before. And then at the end of the day, reflect. So if you can do 3 today, tomorrow try to do 6. The next day try to do 12. And kind of just build up again, repetition. And then yeah, man, in no time you're gonna become a literal magnet. People are gonna just kind of attract to you. that's ideally the goal, you know? So yeah, if you found this video insightful at all, give it a like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down below. You know, let's have a conversation. And yeah, catch you in the next one. Cheers.